The Coolermaster Mastercase Pro 5. Not as cool as a Master Sword, but pretty cool regardless. This case is Coolermaster's attempt to glom onto the maker movement and feed into that mentality, and they do this through their freeform modular system. What the heck does that mean? Stay tuned to find out, and like this video if you want to see another trolling at PAX Prime. Intel brings DDR4 to the mainstream with their all-new Core i7 6700K and Core i5 6600K processors. Click now to learn more. So what the heck is the freeform modular system? Well, at its base level, what Coolermaster is trying to do is make a case that is largely constructed using screws and other modular connections so that you will be able to swap things out easily. Say you'll be able to swap out the top I/O for something like USB-C compatibility, throw redundant power supplies in the bottom, mount a reservoir in your hard drive bay area, put tempered glass on the sides or even on the front, hook up a graphics card mount support so that you don't have heavy cards droop, and much more. They're also planning on somewhat leaning on the community here, so if you have any suggestions for anything, be sure to let them know on Twitter at Coolermaster. Now let's get to the base system case we have here today, the unmodded Coolermaster Mastercase Pro 5. This case is quite sturdy, as you can see. I don't actually recommend standing on this case, but it's an impressive sight nonetheless. Moving on, we have the front of the case. There's two 5¼ inch bay covers and a large filtered front panel below that. Up above, we have the I/O on an angled part of the top of the case. Up here you have two USB 3.0 ports, a hard drive activity light, power and reset buttons, and a headphone and microphone jack. On the left side panel, there's a very large square cutout with a slightly tinted window, and in the bottom there's an option for a black panel that will cover your power supply and some hard drive cages. This is easily removed by removing two screws if you do want to show off that sweet juice machine. The right side panel is fairly plain, but both of them feature hanging thumb screws, and when you remove the panel, it won't fall off right away. The bottom of it will hinge on the case until you lift it out. A nice touch. Moving to the top, there is a removable bracket which houses a filter and covers up another removable bracket, which you can install two 120 or 140mm fans and their respective radiators. This is nice because you can do the annoying set of screwing in your rad and fans outside of the case instead of fighting with it on the inside. Last of all, there are handles up here, possibly not immediately apparent, but they're there and they seem pretty sturdy as well. On the bottom of the case, you have the power supply filter and two bottom supports which have two rubber feet each. These support legs are removable as well, which is great to see, even though the majority of you will probably be leaving them on. The back of the case supports one 140mm and 120mm fan in the same spot, which can be placed slightly higher or slightly lower in order to line up with your air cooler of your choice, and the power supply is mounted using a nifty little external bracket. So now for a look at the inside of the case. Starting with the front, we see mounts for three 140mm fans, two of which are included. You can also choose to mount a 280mm radiator here, but because of the case's top shroud, you can't install a triple rad. Just behind these fan mounts is a modular drive bay system. The master case comes with a total of 3 drive cages, 2 for hard drives and SSDs, and a third for your two 5¼ inch bays if you're still into those kind of things. The position of the hard drive cages can be adjusted vertically for better airflow or cable management, or just removed completely if you're not really using any mechanical drives, and they can be easily adjusted or taken out with thumb screws. One thing that I liked is how the cages didn't just fall down after I took out the thumb screws. You have to pull on them just a little bit so that they don't go crashing down into the floor of your case. Each cage has toolless slide-in mounts with anti-vibration rubber pads. Nothing we haven't seen before, but still nice. One of these cages is in the basement area that's becoming more common on cases these days. It contains both the power supply and a mount for the hard drive cage that we mentioned before, or some maker stuff if you want to go that way, which can be moved from the front of the case if you need extra clearance or something like that radiator that drops down. On top of the basement are a pair of SSD brackets that are to install with just a single thumb screw. But keep in mind that these brackets do hide your SSDs, which you may or may not like depending on how you want your build to look. You'll also find a power supply mount down here, which includes anti-vibration rails and a removable dust filter, which we mentioned earlier. And when it's time to do something with all those cords coming out of your power supply, the Mastercase offers some pretty good cable management options. You get 3 large rubber-lined grommets along the right-hand side of the motherboard tray, 2 holes on top, and 2 more holes on top of the basement for SSD cables, as well as anything that you might need to plug into the bottom of your motherboard. The back of the motherboard tray, inside the back side of the case, has Velcro straps for all of your front panel cables, which are neatly pre-managed, as well as a couple cable loops for your 8-pin connector. And while these things are nice, I would have liked maybe some more stock cable management features, but in the accessories bin there are 2 stick-onable cable loop things which you can utilize. And speaking of the motherboard tray, the accessories kit includes a little standoff socket that you can place on the end of your screwdriver, enabling you to screw them in with just a screwdriver instead of struggling with your fingers. Very cool. So, in conclusion, it's a pretty standard case. A good standard case, but standard nonetheless, for the moment. At least. It has the chance of evolving in the future. That chance relies on the community giving Coolermaster feedback and input on what they would like to see this case grow into, and it relies on Coolermaster following up on those suggestions and unlocking the various possibilities that they have thought of and that the community has thought of as well. I'm sure they're listening, so give them your suggestions in the comments down below or again on Twitter at Coolermaster. Thanks for watching, guys. If this video sucked, you know what to do, but if it was awesome, get subscribed, hit the like button, or even consider supporting us directly by using our affiliate code to shop on Amazon, buying a cool t-shirt that isn't crazy weird, at least some of ours are crazy weird, so I don't know, or with a directly monthly contribution through the forum. Now that you're done doing all that stuff, you're probably wondering what to watch next, so click the little button in the top corner here to watch a channel super fun video where I troll the crap out of Terran with a melting screen.